I mean, it's a 9 special.
But it would be IG.
Oh, wrong team. Wrong team.
I don't.
My bad.
I mean, they wouldn't do. I don't think they would do that
I
anyway.
don't think they
but
need to think that far into the future. I
Yeah.
think this is the kind of game that IG wins in the laning phase.
Yeah, it looks very strong, aggressive lanes. Easy to make moves, low cooldown right now. While on the side of J.Storm, I'm confused because the clockwork.
They could do emo gyro and then pick up a faceless void for fly.
That is very true, and that looks really strong with their draft.
Yeah.
Because that would make their only long pace. It would solidify them late game. And a Night Stalker picked here for J.Storm. So that's something to set the pace, because right now I didn't feel like they could at all. And that's going to be their safe lane.
Yeah, I think that's
the
Moose
Night
Hero.
Stalker.
I mean, not Moose Hero, but Moose Hero.
Yeah.
You get me?
Oh, God. Don't worry, we had one with, I can't remember what it was. It was like I think I was casting with Lyrical, and we were casting Beastmaster with the Hack, and it was the Hawk. The Hawk. They had a Beast. Yeah, there was a Beastmaster, and we're like, the Hawk is flying. We're like, the Hawk? The Hack? Oh, God, what the hell is going on? That was a good one.
Then a Warlock, even though I'm pretty sure J.Storm have only been picking it with the Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
But still a good Fear hero, so Fear is, I mean, there's no chance this is like a 5 clockwork, right? Is there such a thing as a 5 clockwork?
I don't know if clockwork is just the thing
Is
in
there
himself.
such a thing
That's
as
the
a
problem right now.
clockwork?
He feels he really does feel. I saw someone even post. Someone who's like, I play a ton of clock, and he listed all the reasons. I was like, those are really good reasons.
The main
like,
one that I agree with is the fact that melee heroes should not be able to kill cogs.
the melee attack range was changed.
There's no reason why melee heroes should be able to kill cogs and get a bounty from it also.
Yeah.
They just farm your cogs.
Yeah.
It's
Every
like
time.
free gold.
They're not worth even using actually early because they don't burn that much
you
mana.
have to like stand inside your cogs and deny them every single time.
The only reason why you use them is if you're trying to live.
I actually like playing Gyro versus Clockwork a lot of times because you're like, oh, I always have something to flack off of in fights too.
That's
This is
true,
great. I
yeah.
just flack off these cogs a lot of the time.
Yeah,
But
but maybe Shadow Fiend, 9 Shadow Fiend. That
That's the
justifies
only
the
thing that I'm
clockwork.
thinking that maybe is the reason why. But even then, I mean, Shadow Fiend does not look good this game.
But does that mean that they have a clock 5 indeed, and then an Enigma 4?
I mean, no matter what, you have a clockwork.
But it's such a weird lineup.
It is.
Especially
very
when
weird.
they're like triple melee, and Enigma's not. I don't really count that one as much of a ranged hero. Into Lina, Sand King Gyrocopter. That's not fun playing lots of melee heroes in verse.
And then it feels like it's on the greedy side because of your support duo, but then it's not actually greedy at all. Because you don't have anything for the late.
You have to pick 9, your win condition hero. What?
That was
No. I was expecting a Fear hero.
I see LD putting his face in his hands.
It's mid tiny because they banned out the Warlock.
Oh,
so
yeah,
they were
wait,
expecting-
sorry, yeah. I'm like, wait, what?
They banned out the Warlock. They were expecting a Fear hero. Fear picks up the Jakiro.
Okay.
So mid tiny.
So it's still core clock.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
they
have
could
heard
do 4 clock and then 3 Enigma, but I'm pretty sure Brax is more of a clockwork player than an Enigma player.
I've heard people describe clock like you can do the same thing from position 4 as you can from position 5. Or does the timing difference make such a big difference? Because obviously as a core you're gonna reach your timings earlier.
I don't have any clockwork answers for you,
All right.
unfortunately, Shiver.
I love Clockwork, and I have not touched the hero in about a year and a half because it feels almost unplayable most of the
Well,
time.
maybe they're going for Neil's strat then. You know, winning the draft in
That's
game
what I'm
1.
saying. Lose the draft, win the game. Because IG, they're like, yeah, we got all of our favorite heroes.
And maybe they're gonna get cocky purely because of that fact. And we know
Maybe.
IG is a team that can get cocky.
Maybe.
The tiny plus Night Stalker duo is the one thing that I'm liking here because
Yeah.
those two, if they do get off of a good start after the laning phase, like they actually can just burst down a lot of these heroes and chase them down pretty easily. But it's the other 3 that I'm just not really liking too much because they don't have what happens if the game goes late?
Isn't Enigma a pretty successful hero at the moment as well?
Yeah,
No-
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
7 games played, 42% win rate.
Oh.
Or 43, I guess. But
I mean, I think Enigma's fine. We saw Tim's do work
Yeah.
with it. EG was doing good work with it.
IG taking their time. What do they need for their last pick? What are we looking for?
So I thought the Void was fine. They could go maybe like a Drow.
That's the Void. I think Void was the best one. It was
So
a really good call.
BKB piercing disable for the Black Hole, which assuming this Enigma even makes his way to a BKB, it's just a tall order for him. It's fine against Clockwork. You can time lock between Battery Assault, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. You can use I feel like Battery Assault got like slowed down or something. I feel like I can use all my abilities inside of Battery
It's
Assault
pretty much
lately.
just Jakiro and Earthshaker that have issues with Clockwork.
Yeah.
Time dilation will also probably be immensely irritating for a Clockwork. Really, the only thing is that Nightstalker, I think, is fairly good against Void. Jump on top of him, crippling Fierce Silence. It's kind of difficult for Void to get out of that situation, but he also has lots of stuns on his team. Yeah, every single hero on his team has a stun.
I mean, I love IG's draft. I think it ticks every box for me except for building damage. That's the one thing I'm concerned about, but they have such an overwhelming amount of team fight that I feel like that's usually when I'm okay with a team not having some push. They just take fights and then take buildings because you kill everybody. J.Storms is just, it's weird to me.
So it is Brax Clockwork.
It is a Brax Clockwork.
Like, if Tiny doesn't have a good game, I don't know where their damage comes from.
But you guys said that IG's draft was weird too previous game and they won.
I didn't say it was weird.
You said it was, well, you guys said it was weak.
It was
I said
weak.
J.Storms was strong.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought IG's was just not as strong as J.Storm's last game, but this one I feel like IG's is just
All right.
way
So
stronger,
for
but
J.Storm, you guys are saying they have been outdrafted this one. What do we look for? Like, what timings do they need to hit? What are you guys gonna focus on in the game when you're watching?
The Tiny and the Nightstalker, they need to play together. They need to constantly bully this Void
Okay.
all the time. Clockwork is going to be on gyro duty, I guess, because I don't know who else is going to be dealing with the gyrocopter if these two heroes are dealing with the faceless Void.
if Clockwork, I mean, if he gets like an early Blade Mail and he can somehow pop off with Blade Mail
Yeah.
or something like that, I could maybe see something like that one. But I think Moo and 9 are the two I'm really looking at to just make these aggressive plays, especially 9. I think he has to have a good game.
All right, let's find out if he will have a good game or not. It is LD and Gods for game number 2.
Thank you very much, Sheaver. Well, Gods, they didn't even like the IG draft that much in game 1, and they crushed. So now they have a draft that the panel likes. Could go one of two ways. You could say it's totally over, or they don't know what they're talking about, so maybe it's actually good for J.Storm.
Yeah.
Which side are you on? You going to throw our panel under the bus?
I think IG's draft
They got a 5th pick Void.
Yeah, their draft
when's
looks
the last time we've
incredible
seen
this
that?
game. I mean, it's also partly why I think we all are going to feel it looks really good is they're picking these strong meta heroes that are winning games and performing well. The Gyro, the Void, Ogre is a 5, Sanking Lina lane, like everything about their draft just ticks all the right boxes and is what we're seeing the top teams at this tournament doing. So there's a reason teams have been doing this and winning, whereas J.Storm, a bit more out of the box.
We haven't seen much of the mid-gyro this event. That was a thing in the past, but not so popular here, as they are going to make a move on Moo early.
They were baiting it, though.
J.Storm bringing in 4. This could be a great way to start it out with Kaka going down. Can they finish him? JT trying to soak up some hits of the battery assault. Kaka will live. Oh, it'll be okay, but he's going to be very low. Probably have to pop like 3-4 tangos here. Looks like we should see a bounty run trade, and J.Storm going for round 2.
Kaka's staying here.
They're getting greedy. They want to get 3 of these. Brax is just going to charge in. Burrow strike away from JT, and it'll be a 2 for 2 with a lot of regen blower.
Void down bottom was playing super aggressive behind the tier 2 tower as well to scout out moves. I think he was trying to get experience, and he got experience for the Enigma Deny. That's actually a really cool play from Flyfly.
Oh, nice.
So Enigma denying that first range creep, and he was in range. So he's at least a little bit happier as a result of that.
It's the little things.
Oh, he denied a melee creep, actually. Didn't deny the range creep. Bit unexpected. But this lane will push, and the second deny is on the range creep, so there we go.
We'll take the experience for that too, but obviously not happy about it.
Yep.
So our other lane matchups, we'll see this Enigma Clockwork for J.Storm. Our mid lane is going to be the Gyro versus Tiny.
Already 3 denies on Tiny.
And our top lane, Sand King Lina. Man, that is a power lane.
Yep. Jakiro Nightstalker, though, 2 pretty tanky, beefy heroes with good stats that should be able to hold their own, but the kill threat of a Sand King Lina definitely there, and something that particularly Fear needs to really respect when he's trying to harass them.
So this is something we saw yesterday too, is the Enigma's just kind of leaving the lane. Last time it was for a Pango for Liquid, I believe, who was just left alone. But Moose is just going to rotate to the woods. So it'll be a 2v1 versus Brax.
Yeah, this is more of the 4 position Enigma in the jungle, playing in that enemy jungle for now, but is at least in the neighborhood to come and help out.
Tell me someone saw that.
He'll be looking to get the fast arcane boots, it seems, and just jungling away. Nothing too crazy. Is being circled. It seems like Ogre has an idea of where he's playing and is going to go and try and search for him to leech some of this XP, mess with the last hits. Should be able to get here for this Centaur. It's going to be close. Don't believe he got the XP for that one, so...
He's going to now find Moose and smack him, bully him back a bit. JT making a move on the top lane onto Moo. He's got the Burrow Strike. They've got a secondary Light Strike array, and this should be the first blood. Kaka secures it, as he has so many times this event on the Lina. Just dominant with this hero.
His Lina is the best for.
They've got a Mango. They could dive for more, but here comes the respawn.
We'll see what Kaka looks to do if he tries to find a way to suicide in this lane. He throws one last LSA, and I think he's going to run for the tier 2 tower, deny himself. But
Moose is not too far
Ye-
away.
Enigma should see this soon and go and grab XP. Moose.
Oh, Courier mid, Ollie.
Nope.
Just a little late. And Kaka will get the successful tower death.
Enigma got XP for it, so we got about maybe close to 100 XP for that one.
They want to set up on 9. He almost died to Emo. Had to throw him back to his own tower earlier, but wasn't able to get the kill.
Just a level 1 Ogre with Bloodlust. Nothing much he can do as far as threatening to kill 9.
Couldn't get the Courier either, so a bit unfortunate. They brought the Enigma back top, as you touched on, so this does leave Brax alone and a free farm Void.
Yeah, I have my doubts about that, but Brack's having a great time. Already level 4 in this lane. We'll have to play a little bit cautiously. The Bloodlusted Void with 2 points in time lock does have a lot of kill potential with the Ogre.
I want to believe in this clock pick. You know, they pick it first too. Like, they really value the hero. Can they make it work?
We'll have to wait and see what they're trying to get done with it. Definitely.
Like, what's the game plan for Brax, like, heading later into the end of the laning stage? Is he just ganking a lot? Are you
for sure
pressuring? What's your game plan?
He's the playmaker. You've got a 4-position Enigma. This is a greedy hero that essentially is more like a core.
They found Emo.
Yeah.
Quick avalanche toss with good body blocks. Pops the Mango, though. And that Rocket Barrage is going to force 9 away. Can't tank it. Meanwhile, top Fear getting chain stunned. Eating Sandstorm damage. Are they going to kill him a second time? They will. Kaka likely to pay, though. He's got another stun. Moo has to respect that.
JT has a stun himself with the stick charges, but isn't going to go for it right away.
Kaka Lina, easily his most successful hero this event, I want to say.
Yeah.
At least from the games we've cast.
He's so good. I just feel like he hits those LSAs with no setups in the laning stage better than any other 4-position that we've seen.
Yeah, they have a Sand Cane, but it's the Lina who's stunning, then the Sand Cane stuns, then the Lina gets off her second stun because it's only a 7-second cooldown. So compare that to the Burrow Strike, 13 seconds. Like, Lina needs to go first.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's better they lead with that Lina stun.
Oh, Ollie's in trouble. Nice job by Brax catching out a melee hero with the Battery Assault. Level 3, so if you're isolated, you are very killable. Not, at least on the Ogre, not so much on Fly.
This is the spell you're looking to destroy people with.
Void at 34 CS. Night Stalker struggling a bit more, 23. Obviously, this hero can turbo farm with the Ags, but needs to get there first.
Yeah, his lane being pressured quite a lot, even as far as farm goes with the Sand King for the most part.
They're really trying to dive Fly here. He's already used his Time Walk. Under the tower, they're going to catch him out with the Cogs, with the Battery Assault. Can he make it back to safety? One more auto attack. Brax scores the kill. That is big.
Great gank.
They needed that. And straight back to top where the chain stun comes through, but Moo can shake it off. And at nighttime, you're not committing for that.
Yeah, that's your top of the CS charts. Void going down. That was one of the few lanes that was really being won by IG. Top lane's a bit of a draw right now. Mid lane, Gyro's getting destroyed by 9 on this Tiny.
Speaking of, one more swing. This is he just gets him with the punch.
Right before the stun comes in.
And now top. Kaka being dove and bottom. Action there as well. Action everywhere. And most
Lifeline
of it.
is so low, he just came back to this lane. And he's got no
That's
regen.
greedy. There's a Rocket Flare. Not enough to kill him, but if he gets one more auto attack.
Brax is about to hit level 6.
This clockwork is snowballing. Maybe J.Storm had a plan. It looked bad on paper with, as you mentioned, the meta picks, but they are making it work.
Yep, they get the kill. This tier 1 tower with the Eidolons and Siege Creep going down as well. Love to see if J.Storm can secure this last hit. They definitely do not want to let Void deny this. He's shined up.
They have call down. They almost have the chrono, but tower not denied.
Yep, they made sure.
Wi-Fi's got to back away, and there is a hook shot, so if they can just force out that time walk, with the follow-up, maybe could go for a kill.
Bit low on mana, unfortunately. Brax, Battery Assault and Hookshot chews up most of your mana. It looks like he's just going to throw his spells at it.
They want to deal with 9 gods. They're making some rotations mid, but look how low Emo is already. I don't know if you can fight into this. They're going to try. They do get the kill. Fear answering back. Don't think it's enough, but the Clockwork Rocket.
Ooh.
Oh, just short. Just short.
All that
So
damage.
close.
This Gyro is bottom 3 net worth, and that's after getting that kill. He got the last hit, but he is struggling.
Yeah, I mentioned
so
we
much.
haven't seen much mid Gyro, but you know, I didn't realize he would struggle this hard.
This matchup, Tiny, one of those kind of mid lane dominators when he has these good matchups with the tree grab, being able to just deny it and last hit so well the first few waves. Gyro's not good at last hitting in this mid lane. He often relies on being able to try and bully people out of lane using the missile and rocket barrage. Tiny just very tanky and didn't get bullied.
And you can't chase that far either, because it's the mid lane.
And you're going to get tossed back into your tower. There's all kinds of plays if you're out of position against a Tiny. So
Well, they are going to deny 9 the runes. That's definitely what we saw at TI is Thompson just picking up rune after rune on his Tiny, but not finding too many big power runes yet.
I think almost every rune is being grabbed by these Radiant supports. Ollie took an Illusion rune earlier. He now takes the Haste rune. Enigma had a Haste rune at 2 minutes in, so I think not a single rune going 9's way.
Nice start here, but bottom lane moves with the TP out, and he is going to make it. They had Chrono, but do you really want to commit that just for a support? It's a pretty
maybe,
farm
yeah,
Enigma.
I would be okay with it. But at the same time, Flyfly wants to be able to pose a threat in this lane. If he uses Chrono, he has to start playing very defensively.
We often talk about the threat of the big ult as more potent than the actual ult itself. IG are going to fall back on stacks.
Ooh,
They've got some big ones here, too.
They're going to get both of these.
With the Sand King Lina.
Sand King stuns just to make sure they get the stack. What a nice play. And boy, this is a decent amount of farm coming their way.
J.Storm, a great lineup at making those invasion plays with the Tiny Night Stalker and Clock, but they just don't have the vision. This ward that they have doesn't see much. So 1 stack cleaned up. JT going to work on the other soon, and meanwhile in the mid lane. Chrono coming through, call down coming through, Rocket Barrage as well, everything thrown at this Tiny. They get the kill.
They positioned so well. Ice Path only caught one of the 3 heroes with how Void and Ogre positioned, so.
And this also secures JT that other stack. There will be no invasion with the Tiny dead.
Yep.
So he's level 8 now, doing just fine. Well on his way to the Veil.
Yeah, that was a huge. He's suddenly top 2 net worth after that.
And he actually changed his item. He's like, no, screw Veil. I'm getting a Blink.
Okay. He's really looking to create some space and play aggressive with this fast Blink Dagger.
Veil's really good this game.
Yeah, I am. This is definitely slightly less conventional, but we'll see how it works out. I don't mind it at all, but
He did the Legion like Blink Rush the other day, right? They ended up winning that. I don't know if that item was the reason why, but
yeah, he carried that game hard. He's
the
a big
Beast Coast
playmaker.
mistakes probably the main reason, but yeah, he did carry.
Yep. But this is like a riskier item, but it has higher payoff theoretically if it works, where you're getting kills. But
The one thing I'm a little concerned about for J.Storm, though, is that Moo is not that farmed. Like, we've seen most Night Stalkers get a free lane, and he's just sitting, you know, 400, 500 gold down. They are going to start taking towers. That'll help him ramp up. I do have a bounty bot still to grab as well, so a couple of little touches, but it's not going to be that fast of an eggs.
it's the mid tier 1-2, the most important tier 1 on the map. And JT gets his blink now in the top lane. About to hit level 9. He's going to have the max Burrow Strike Sandstorm Epicenter then. Would fully expect IG to make plays around this. Smoke up. Kaka's just picked one up. His Lina level 7, so Lina, Sand King, they could just smoke us too, but they want to play with the team.
He's creeping in, but there's a Radiant Sentry here. They've seen him.
Ollie's trying to bait the Void a bit here.
Not falling for it just yet. Still showing JT top.
Here they come. Looking to make their play. They smoke up. No dire vision of where that smoke was used.
Oh, Fear's in front, though. This is a good hero to break the smoke if you're J.Storm. But he doesn't quite do it. They just squirm
They're
around.
going to catch Enigma instead.
They're going to find moves. Burrow Strike through. Lina nukes combine. And down he goes. They even TP an Emo just to secure it. They're hoping for more. They do have a Chrono. Can they find anyone? Fear's TP'ing out. The rest of the team backing away. Still nobody's grabbed that bottom bounty rune.
Yep.
Fear will finally claim it.
Yeah, J.Storm, once that pick happens, they're just like, all right, let's get out. Gyro's TP'd in. you have this small, like, 12-second window where there's no blink burrow strike that you've just got to TP out or just run away, and they managed to not let IG get a +1, which is really what they were looking for there. But
IG keep the pressure up. They're looking for a D-ward. Ollie, though, he's walking uphill, and he's walking into Brax with the battery assault. The Night Stalker joining the fray. Another death for the Ogre, and more importantly, no D-ward. So 9. Blink under construction. That'll be their first big initiation item to go with the clock. We haven't seen much from this Clockwork Gods.
no,
He rushed a Blade Mail. Brax wants to be taking fights and getting kills, but no openings for him as of yet.
This is something that, you know, Pound talked about. If he has a good game, gets his fast blade mail, makes some plays, he could really control the tempo. But he's 2-0-3, but a lot of those kills and assists were in that laning stage where it feels like since then he hasn't done as much. Bottom lane, JT, he jukes out, he stuns through.
And they find him with the Dark
Nice.
Ascension. He's gone.
Moo coming in. And
And
with Brax
Brax
from
did
behind.
not have a great angle for a hook shot there.
To get away from a Clockwork with that gank is impressive from JT. He understood exactly where they were coming from.
And Night Stalker, for that matter,
Yeah.
with Dark Ascension.
Flying vision and everything, and they still couldn't catch him.
All the while, Fly completing his Maelstrom. IG farming away. The Night Stalker Ags getting closer. He's now got 2 components. And your Tiny Blink, about 700 off. So we'll see another power spike for J.Storm. But IG just have that natural team fight. Even if they don't have big items, you still wonder if J.Storm can take a head-on fight. Pipe is coming soon for Moose. That'll be big.
They're fully committed to playing around this top side of the map. They've got numbers up here. They want to take this fight. They know Brax has tucked himself in. I think Brax has enough TP support that he feels he can confidently make this move.
And there's parking fear at the base. The rest of the team mid, so a tier 2 down. The trade is just creep waves. No objectives.
Until 9 gets his Blink Dagger, it feels like J.Storm don't want to make too many ultra-aggressive attempts to fight. Clockwork can hookshot in, but you really need that insta-follow-up, and Night Stalker isn't this fighting 3-position hero that he used to be. He's this guy that wants to get a good timing on his Ags. If he fights and dies and slows down his Ags, it completely
Top lane,
destroys your
Chrono,
strat.
and Brax is dead.
Nice kill.
They've been hanging on to the Chrono for a long time, but something else I want to talk about, guys. IG, they've already got 2 Force Staffs queued up, and this is one of the reasons why we've seen Clockwork just not popular is this item really counters him hard.
Oh yeah, Force Staff always been good, but also always been partly why Clockwork has been very situational.
And supports just get so much
There's the
gold
Blink
nowadays.
reveal.
Blink reveal, counter burrow, but he walks into an ice pad. They have Black Hole. Can they get the good initiation? JT trapped out with the Malefice. Rocket coming through. They get the kill. They did pop a dust to secure this. Now chasing. Dark Ascension cooling down.
Great play from J.Storm. They knew there's no Chrono. The team fight for IG is very lackluster right now, and of course, even if they had Chrono, 9's still looking to get aggressive. He's got his fresh Blink Dagger. He has a lot of kill threat right now, and that
We're going to see some
IG were
brawling
ready
this game. Everybody itemizing to fight. The pipe on Enigma, the blink on the Tiny, and the Sand King.
Yep.
You know, just a straight Maelstrom on the Void, not trying to go anything super greedy here.
I would expect Emo probably just to rush the BKB on Gyrocopter. As much as we've been kind of sometimes critical of it and wanting to see more of the Ags to secure the late game, you can't afford to go too risky.
Oh, they're jumping in. Quick commitment forward. The hookshot follow-up blocked by the Void. They push him back in. They do have the Black Hole, but there's a lot of stunts for Moose. He tries to run away. He already committed his hood. So everybody except for the Lina getting out. Nice kill to start that fight. Can they transition into a push with this
Back-to-back
pipe?
deaths on him. Here goes
Betcha.
Night Stalker.
They're going to go for it. Charging forward. Still no eggs, though. He's 500 gold short. And Fly just streaming towards this top lane. Time walking his way to safety.
Is it safety?
I hope
Moose
so.
might find him.
The rocket. Oh, this could be bad for Fly. Moose committing.
No TP.
Diving. Chasing forward. He's got 20 seconds. Man, it's a long run, but JT's trying to save his Void. He runs in. He runs into the Enigma, in fact. Now he wants to get out, but they're there to cut him off. JT's likely to lose his own life here, too. Burrows out. Looks for the great escape, but the chuck forward. The chase is on. J.Storm score a couple of big kills.
The 2 heroes, the panel highlight, the Tiny Night Stalker, start snowballing, run at them, go for all these kills, and it's exactly that. They just made all those plays happen before Night Stalker has Ags. It's now coming out on the Courier. Still, 3 minutes of nighttime remain, and this is spooky for IG, but they do find a pick in the mid lane. Brax, after a good laning stage, has struggled a bit to find his place in this game.
Yeah, to address your point with the Gyro BKB, you know, he's got Bloodlust, he has a Void, there's a lot of damage to drop in the Chrono, so I don't think he needs to itemize Greedy to be able to carry this.
Just stay alive.
Oh, here's the Axe, though. This is scary.
Dire have vision around this cliff here. They've got to deward this, and
they want these 4 stats to do with the Clockwork as 9 comes in with the Avalanche toss, blasting down so many heroes low. And now on the run, the Laguna Blade, though, look for the turnaround perhaps. They do have a Chronosphere, but where's the easy kills? He doesn't have any yet. Now he drops it. They're going to buy back on the Gyro. Do they have the damage to dump in? It's Kaka with the stuns, Kaka with the nukes, JT with the Epi. He came in, and he just might get out. He does escape. What a huge turnaround. It looked so bleak for IG.
He had a sliver of health and got that off. Hookshot out, nicely done by Brax. But what a team
That last
fight.
rocket, oh, it's going to be too late. I can't believe he went back yet. I thought he was done.
We'll see IG try and pressure this tier 1 tower now, but what a hell of a fight. They had to buy back Gyro, but they knew with that Chronosphere catching out the heroes it did, it was positioned just so Gyro could do damage on the edge.
Oh, we've got a moment here. You want to take a quick look at that fight once again?
Let's take a look, Elliot.
Let's take a look.
That was
roll the tape.
So well done. I mean, theoretically, J.Storm had this big advantage to start the fight off with this Observer Ward, but once it's T-Ward, 4-man Avalanche.
And toss.
Yeah.
Like they're all, they've got 3 heroes down to like a 10th of their HP.
I mean, Emo and JT, they both on 10% health. He burrows to the low ground.
Yeah, I just like, oh, he's going to Fountain. He's done. But then the Chrono comes through.
He sticks around. And he's casting Epicenter here.
Yeah, laying the damage into the Chrono. What's amazing is he survives.
Yeah, he accidentally blinks into the Ice Path, but even so, there's no follow-up damage. Man, JT,
Such
the hero
a
of that
sick fight
fight.
by IG.
Oh, yeah. Watching these players really push the limits, and JT, to me, one of those really flashy playmakers of this tournament as well as the minor. When he's rolling and doing things like this, it is a sight to see.
Great team fight by IG. And keeps them and actually gets them into a bit of a lead here. 2,000 gold advantage. It's been very back and forth. One of our closer games of the tournament thus far. Been a lot of stomps this event.
20-minute bounty runes coming up, but it does look like they'll just be traded to a piece.
So, with a pretty even game, Gods, is this just an all-about execution kind of game? Do you feel like someone has a draft advantage?
I think execution is the name of the game. When you see these big ultimates, Chronosphere on one side, Black Hole on the other, both teams have pretty good late game scaling. The Void Gyro, I'd say, slightly outmatches like the Night Stalker, but Night Stalker tiny, but late game Enigma. This is a 4 position that's going to scale incredibly well. BKB, Black Hole in the late game, only going to be really countered by the Void Chronosphere. So if he positions and just doesn't go in until Chrono's being used, he can have a big impact on this game. Or you just, Chrono the Void. He's probably one of the top targets that you want to catch and try kill in that Chronosphere.
IG are parked in the enemy woods for now. Game has slowed down quite a bit. Everybody's going to farm towards their next item. So Night Stalker Blink coming up soon. Moose starting to think about a Blink of his own. The tiny Echo Saber online for the side of J.Storm. For IG, they've completed 2 Force Staffs. So now they have answers for the cogs.
And they're working on all these BKBs. That, to me, is where IG will look suddenly very scary. We saw it in Game 1 with the BKB timings. This game as well. The damage is so magic damage focused right now. Physically, Night Stalker with Hunter of the Night has some, but you're very reliant on this AoE Void damage, Tiny Avatos, Clockwork, Midnight Pulse. So much is going to get blocked by all this.
Yeah, it's not a good game for Night Stalker.
Sorry, Midnight Pulse, of course, piercing, but yes.
Yeah, it's not the best game for Night Stalker to rely on right clicks with dealing with all these short range stuns, like BKB. sure, but then you still have to worry about Chronosphere.
Yep. Let's see if they have the answers to BKBs. Sand King, even as a 3 position, getting one. And as much as Enigma scales very well the late game, but Lina, a very useful hero to have as well as this game drags out.
I think this smoke was scouted. There is a dire
Thought
observer
so too,
ward.
but 9 is sticking around.
They might not have
I
been
don't
looking.
Oh,
Burrow on the illusions, though. Nice bait. We'll catch out that Sand King. Smoke. Still the rest of IG make it undiscovered into the enemy woods. They can maybe plant some fresh wards down. They block one of the camps here. Now look at all these sentries trying to deward that. And just keep vision up generally. Fear's been very heavy on those this tournament.
Force this tier 2 tower with the double BKBs. IG, I think, recognize they are really strong here. They've also seen moves with this pipe there. Without a blink on Enigma, they're not too afraid of him, although they should maybe perhaps start worrying that he's going to have one very soon with how long he's been missing from the map. His Eidolon's farming and pushing out this bottom lane.
IG are just respecting that team fight combo. They don't want to commit to the tower, despite having these BKBs.
Yep.
Good news for them. They definitely have a lot more items they can pick up here. There's no rush to end the game.
Yeah,
for
they don't
either team.
Push very well. Gyro Void, not really good building hitters. And when you're pushing, even though you have these BKBs, you can get jumped before you pop them.
It's going to get caught out here. Kaka's found him with the Laguna. Burrow Strike comes through. Perfect chain stun. Does get off the pipe there, but won't matter. Meanwhile, down mid. A hook shot connects on Ali. They'll catch out the Ogre. And the lumbering oaf will be slain. So a 1-for-1, but the Enigma obviously the more important kill.
Yeah, Enigma was 70 gold short of a Blink Dagger too, so that'll slow him down a little bit. Doesn't really lose too much gold at least. But we'll see what IG look to make of this. For now, they're happy to just kind of fall back and settle into this kind of slower farming to then hit their next items kind of play. Void with a Mjolnir almost completed. Gyro has the Axe queued up. Is it coming out on Courier? No, let's say Courier's coming out. He's just got clarities. That'd be shocked if he had it. It's a little bit of a ways to go.
You know, you mentioned both teams have great team fights, but I just see a Void with Bloodlust, top of the net worth chart, and I'm quaking in my boots. Like, this hero is, oh man, so hard to deal with. And, you know, to make it a bit tougher, you've got 3 melee heroes, and all of your damage is on melee heroes, essentially.
And this is where we've seen the Night Stalkers struggle. This hero's been one of the strongest heroes of the tournament, but when you're playing against a lot of stuns and control, it gets a lot more difficult. He's going to go for a BKB on Night Stalker, but if he gets caught in that Chronosphere, he may just get burst down inside it.
And normally the Night Stalkers, like, they really focus on rushing the Ags, try to get it by the second Night, and then make plays. Speaking of plays, mid lane, quick jump in, they get the Burrow Strike on the Tiny. Fear's there as well, but he won't be tanking the gank this time. It's 9 who is going to go down, and now they chase out Fear. A couple more auto attacks, just barely getting out. Oh, that was close. Do they transition into a Roche? They're thinking about it, but the rocket comes through. That will scout this. If they commit, Fly, he's down to the low ground. They are going to go for the big old man. And
yeah.
I don't know if J.Storm, they do have the blink. The blink's up on moves. Do they consider a risky gambit? They've got the clockwork, they've got the buyback, and they are going to contest. IG, respecting that J.Storm initiation, are thinking of actually not backing away, but of going in.
Yeah, they need a pick off before they get Roche. They don't want to get caught.
They saw
in
the
there.
Eidolons farming. They know Enigma's
no.
around. Oh! See you later, says
Oh
Moose.
boy.
That's huge. Now they can make their move. Committing onto Ollie, catch out the Ogre, kill him off quickly.
JT did not want to go for a blink stun.
And now the hook shot coming through, looking for more. They found JT. The chain stun's there. Can they kill off the Sand King? Fly jumping in with the BKB. He gets involved, but he's trying to kill off a Night Stalker. He needs more bashes. He's getting the bashes. Meanwhile, the black hole, it's caught out two on the backside. They're going to lose Emo. They're going to lose Kaka. That's a killing spree down. The Void had to TP out. The Night Stalker surviving. And now J.Storm, oh, they're thinking, hey, could we take Roche? But he is pretty full HP, so they won't commit for it.
A gutsy play from J.Storm. The buyback on 9. They did not want to give up that Roche for free, and they managed to find a way into the fight, destroy IG.
They're pushing down mid now.
Still no chrono for 80 seconds, so I think J.Storm will just settle back and...
All right, well, while they're pushing here, while the teams are kind of resetting, we'll take another look at that fight. Man, that was a doozy.
Yeah, this Chronosphere, that whiff, set it all up.
He had such a good idea, too, because he saw the Eidolons farming. He knew Enigma was isolated. If you kill Enigma, there is no fight, but...
It's, at the same time, you kill Enigma and he has buyback.
True.
You're in a terrible spot because you've just wasted Chrono for a 4-position buyback.
Look at the way the Clockwork just splits up the fight here with the Cogs. Even though, you know, they have 4 stats to get out of them, so isolated. I don't know about this play by Flyfly. He commits everything to try and kill Night Stalker. Just doesn't have the lockdown. He needed like 2 or 3 more bashes.
He was rolling the dice on bashes, but with the
But he
flying,
got a lot. He got like 3 or 4 bashes there.
He got some crazy RNG. He almost actually kills Night Stalker, but with flying around that Roshan pit, he's able just to play around those cliffs so Flyfly can't chase him down.
Well, good news for IG is they've got the lower cooldown on the big team fight ult. Chrono's almost back up.
Yep, they've got
Only 140 seconds versus the Enigma 180, and he used it later.
Yep.
So they'll have like a minute where they could have a power play, but they smoke under a ward. Oh no. IG,
They're still very strong if they go for Roshan. I don't think J.Storm want to take
They
this
also
fight.
have vision though. Moo.
There's a double
He's
damage
got a
by
blink
the pit.
ready. Can he just jump out, bait out another Chrono?
Kaka taking the DD. I guess Eidolons were coming to deny it, so.
IG really committing for this. They get the burrow. They lock down Moo. They get the bashes as well. And Moo is dead. No buyback. That's your damage. Mostly gone from the fight. Now Nine's trying to run away, but he has been ignited. IG looking to commit forward. They run into the avalanche. Flyfly still chasing. They're gone.
Should just be Roshan now. They've killed Chronosphere. Sometime bought 25 seconds till Black Hole, but with Night Stalker dead without buyback, I don't see them contesting this one.
He's with Clockwork.
Centering Road.
Anything to kill it faster, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
The hook shot, you got to respect it. Brax is thinking about it. He's hanging around, but he's not going to go for it. So, Age is claimed by Emo.
I think that's the first time I've seen someone epicenter Roshan.
Yeah.
There's a first for everything, okay?
Every little bit of damage, I suppose.
Yeah. You know, it's like 800 damage or so.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, Roshan, after some of that resistance kicks in, maybe a bit less, but...
It's not like he's really been using in these fights. He's really all about the Burrow Strike for them right now. They've got plenty of other damage, so I can see it.
They get themselves Aegis. It doesn't matter too much. They can just chill for a little bit. J.Storm need to complete this BKB on Moo. His Night Stalker was about 300, 400 gold short when he died. Now he's just instantly back to farming this top lane. Daytime's going to be coming, so J.Storm, it's going to be like 5 minutes of Aegis time where it's also daytime and they just don't want to fight at all. Even with Dark Ascension up, they're going to have to be very careful about how they approach this game.
They need that Enigma BKB. That seems like their main hope to get back in the game, win a convincing team fight. Is relatively close to it. Has Mithril Hammer money.
Yep.
And they'll grab a couple of bounty runes here. Should be a 2 for 2 most likely. But tower's being claimed by IG.
Both teams have good late game.
Oh, they've scanned here. They've actually seen Brax. JT's moving in. He wants to keep the fighting going.
He had a blink stun, but no backup.
Tier 1 will fall to creeps.
He wants to complete his BKB as well.
Yeah, he actually went for bots first. We didn't mention that, I don't think.
No, I wonder if that was like, there was suddenly a fight he wanted to get to, or it is a nice, one of these really good items regardless. The double TP is just such a strong tool to have.
Yeah, and especially when they've kept most of their outer towers up, so lots of places he can go.
Flyfly hits level 20, so gets that extra initiation range on the Time Walk.
That's big.
Kaka with his famous Shadow Blade. He loves to try and find pickoffs with this item.
Infamous, perhaps, depending on which game you're talking about. But, I mean, his Lina has been so impactful. 6, 4, and 7. From the lanes, through the key team fights.
It's going to force, because Night Stalker kind of wants to just jump on the backlines, which includes the Lina, and Night Stalker as a core doesn't really have room for detection, so it gives him a way to save himself against the Night Stalker. A secondary way, including the Force Staff as well, so I like this item quite a lot. Even the Tiny trying to jump the backlines may not have the ability to carry dust or something.
Even if he has detection, you're forcing them to spend that money to deal with a support.
Yep.
So they will start the siege here in the mid lane. Emo going to work. Meanwhile, down bottom, Wrapping around for Moose, but he's out of there. TP'd out on the cliff.
Yeah, JT guessed wrong about where his position there. That would have been a nice kill to get, but he's got that boots of travel, so he's right back into the mid lane. No real risk there because of
Kaka's
that.
heading back now as well. He's looking for a rune. Grabs a haste. He wants to find a solo kill, perhaps. Shadow blading in.
Speed.
But J.Storm are setting a trap. And while that's happening, Tier 2 going down.
He's going to scout out Tiny. He saw them.
He's seen them
calling.
both.
He's calling his team in.
Backup's coming.
still got-
Gyrocopter TPing in. Void TPing in. Nine still chilling there. The Lina stun comes through. Nine didn't get out in time. Now the call down. BKB, big commitment with the Laguna Blade, and Nine is dead. And they've still seen Brax on the retreat. Can JT get in range? Can he close the gap? He's getting close. So too is the Void. Time Walks doesn't quite get past the little barrier of rocks there. Force Staff into the burrow. They've got a Chrono. They're gonna pop it. And they should be getting the Brax kill here. Gets that one bash. That's like a quarter of his HP.
JT hitting creeps to the caustic damage, styling a bit there as well. Really nice play. He pretended he wasn't chasing. He kind of backed off, and then he suddenly jumps in with the Force Staff into stun while his blink was on cooldown. So caught Brax a bit by surprise, perhaps, since he did kind of feign backwards.
IG marching down mid, looking like a death ball. There is a BKB on moves.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Can he make something happen with the black hole while he's trying to decide how to find his way into a fight? They're losing the old man, perhaps.
Flyfly?
Aegis committed. Now Flyfly jumping in. Now the buybacks. Here comes the blink initiation from Moose. Look for the black hole. Moose is sitting pretty far back.
Though. Kaka's out invis.
Ollie's running away too. They're spreading out nicely. Chuck forward. They'll get Ollie, but that is just not enough for all these buybacks.
JT, maybe he'll get caught here. Has a BKB TP, but
Burrows to the low ground. They have not scouted him.
yeah, he just juked him apparently.
They're all gone. Nice little delta split.
That's the Shadow Blade in action. It's great offensively, catches the tiny bottom, and then defensively there, he's on the high ground. They've overcommitted. They dove tier 4. Flyfly a little bit, oh sorry, Emo on the gyro, not Flyfly. He just dives a little bit too hard because he thinks he's caught Fear out with the missed Ice Path, but his team helping him get out okay. The Shadow Blade on Lina allowing Kaka to stay alive from the Night Stalker's blink initiation.
Speaking of Shadow Blades, look who's building one now. It's Moose on the Enigma.
Huh.
Interesting.
I don't mind this. I'm not
Invisibility,
sure if it's
invincibility, you know.
one of those, I think it's less impactful on him compared to like the Lina. You're not really using it defensively as well against some of these heroes, but he's looking more for the offensive capabilities of this item.
I think the concern for me with J.Storm Gods is that they need the perfect black hole to take a fight. Whereas IG, it's just nice if they get a great chrono.
They were scanned though. IG had an idea they were at this room.
Flyfly's out in front. He's just marching in with the Satanic.
No chrono for 5.
Baiting. Just baiting. And Ollie's there to cut off any sort of wraparound plays. He's actually hunting into the secret shop. They're looking for openings. He's time walking forward. He's just charging in fearlessly into J.Storm. There are 5 heroes here. They're going to commit.
Solar
Black hole. Everything for the Void. Do they get him? They time walk. The Satanic. He stands. He fights. He lives. Oh, this could be real ugly. JT's on the backside. He's gone on to 9. No one else really dying, though. Flyfly re-engages. Can they bring down Moose? They need a little more lockdown to deal with him. He gets the bash on the Jakiro. That's a dead Jakiro. 3 heroes have dropped. And they keep on hunting. The caustic damage gets in range.
So slow.
Now the tiny. Flyfly can keep on chasing. There's a buyback on Enigma, but who cares?
9 with the axe.
The chrono only now coming out. That's the death of Moose. Almost certainly a double kill for the Void. They bit off more than they could chew.
Oh.
And they pay the ultimate price.
Twice that tiny axe damage was just not quite enough to get the kill. The big one on the Void, they threw everything. The Enigma with the black hole plus the tiny tree volley, thinking they had the physical damage to bring him down, and it was just barely not enough. The Void, when it ended, he didn't even time walk right away. He instantly tried to lifesteal a bit with the Satanic.
And then he time walked.
Yeah, I think feeling like, you know, the animation of time walk is not going to cut it. He wanted the instant attacks, since I guess in his head it's going to be faster than the time walk animation. That may have actually saved his life. And
this is a big
convincing
problem for J.Storm. Their tournament lives on the line. IG smashing down the base, bringing down the melee. The minor champs looking like they could threaten to go even deeper here at the major. On home soil, they're feeling strong. and there's no black hole for 85 seconds. So what do? Well, apparently, you just forfeit your base. And you might have just forfeited the game as Moo has gotten caught out again. BKB from the Void. Moose has to back away. Night Stalker heading for the hills. He needs this homie missile to hit, but the bashes are coming through. That Night Stalker not quite dead, though. Brax, meanwhile, he found Kaka from behind. But they're going to rotate back to bottom. It's a 20k gold lead. It's IG all the way. J.Storm just unconventional drafts, not quite panning out here. IG brutalizing them.
Yeah. These two frontline cores with Bloodlust are just so hard to deal with. They Satanic, Bloodlust, and Gyro Void. How do you deal with these two? Moo trying to figure out a way as he blinks in with his Night Stalker, but there's no follow-up. There's no black hole for 40 seconds still. J.Storm running out of answers. Tiny, his net worth has just dropped off. He has the axe, but that tree volley is looking less and less impressive as time goes on without any damage items.
And now an Ags is completed on the Faceless Void of Fly. So they can take these team fights every minute with basically their full complement of spells. Meanwhile, you've got to wait 3 minutes to take a fight with the black hole.
Yeah, that's a really cool concept. Not an item we're seeing much on this carry Void, but when you're playing against the long cooldown of Enigma, it makes so much sense. And also, he wants to be able to just throw a solo black hole like on a support like the Enigma if he catches him in the jungle.
Chrono, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, a solo Chrono, and it's totally justified if you've got this low cooldown, which the Axe provides him. Survivability, that's what kept him alive the last fight, so if he gets...
They lack damage on J.Storm now. You've got a Void running around with 3,300 HP when he's on Strength Treads and the status resistance. The Gyro's almost at 3k. He's also got a Satanic BKB. The Ogre, you know, who cares? Sand Cane at 2,500. There's not that many easy kills here. But J.Storm, it's a desperation gambit. They need to find something big to stay alive. Top 4 is on the line at MDL Chengdu. Who are they going to jump first? Kaka's there. He reveals they commit a sentry, but it's too late. So an opportunity squandered. Do they move in? They're hunting with 9, but he's walking right into trouble. A Burrow Strike, a Laguna, a Slave comes in, and the hook's too late. Another death. Tiny's out for 70. Their big damage dealer is gone. Can Moo pick up where Tiny left off? He will get Kaka, who's got the buyback, pops it instantly. All the while, Fly, he's just waiting with the Chrono Spear. He will commit it, finds Moo, just starts smacking him, but Fear's caught outside the Chrono, gets off the ice path. It doesn't matter, the black hole, it's too late.
No damage.
Where's the damage? Where's the damage? They just don't have it. GG is called. IG from the minor qualifier to top 4 at MDL Chengdu.
Fantastic game. Much more competitive than the first. I think J.Storm showed how they got here a bit in this one with a really nice early game start, but once those IG BKBs came up and we saw IG really put together this strong, scary team fight of theirs, J.Storm just didn't really have the answers.
Wow. This team looks pretty solid, and giving away a 5th pick Void, you figured J.Storm had a plan, but Void wins again.
Yeah, IG have all of the kind of top picks, top lanes of the tournament. Definitely showed it's not this easy insta-win because of how this game started. But, Sand King Lina lane, having a great time. The Void with the Ogre 5-position. Ogre looking like one of the scarier 5s. Bloodlust just so good this game. Everything came together really nicely for IG. And once they got their items up and could just pick and choose their fights a bit, things looked really good. JT especially on that Sand King. That one fight with around the Radiant Shrine over on the far left side of the map, that was where the game really swung back IG's way, because things were starting to look a little bit rough for them until JT comes up big with that 10 HP Epicenter Burrow Strike play that he made.
Well, they've got the crowd pumped up as they walk out onto the stage. Into the top 4, they're going to be facing Evil Geniuses next, who 2-0'd them earlier in the bracket. So, man, hats off to IG. And I think with that, we're going to throw it back to our panel here so they can break it down further, get maybe a post-game interview, and get us ready for our next series.
Yeah, thank you so much. That game was a lot better for J.Storm than the previous one. It still was not enough to beat IG, so they get eliminated here. I'm still here with Tsunami and Fog. Gentlemen, that game was, it was really fun to watch. We're going to start at the beginning. We questioned the clock. We were happy with the Night Stalker, Tiny on J.Storm, and we thought all round IG's draft was solid. The only thing they might lack was tower damage. How did we feel like the beginning of the game played out?
pretty good for J.Storm. Thought they played their 3 lanes pretty well, right?
Yeah.
9-1 mid.
9-1 mid.
Clockwork.
Got a fair amount of farm.
Fair amount. Good. We got a, what, it was 12-minute blade mill?
Yep.
Something
Yep.
like that. Very early blade mill, like we wanted it. And top,
was
he
in a
got
very
pressured.
tough lane,
it's tough lane.
Tough line.
but still did okay.
Yeah, all 3 lanes went pretty okay for them, but then I think we just look at the graph really quick. We get, like, we can just look at it too. Like that one fight was the big turnaround, but then I also want to just look up player net worth, and we can just look at, like, I think it was we look at Brax in particular. We watched this clockwork and watch how it grew. It didn't. He was stuck at the same net worth the entire game. He wasn't able to find much of anything, and I don't think it's really like his fault. It's the hero. It's really hard for him to set up. He wasn't able to get many hook shots, especially into that draft of IG. Once they have that one team fight and they get their triple BKBs, the game becomes so hard, so much harder for J.Storm.
And so many of the popular offlaners these days are really effective at farming during downtime, like your Centaurs, your Axes, your Sand Kings, like JT showed. Clockwork does not have that kind of luxury.
Yeah.
He has to be finding kills with a +1. And Moo and Tiny, the Night Stalker and the Tiny had their own combination going on. Brax couldn't really play with the 4 position. Moo's Enigma was looking for other things, getting a lot of farm. Eventually, I mean, Moo's Enigma got quite stacked, all things considered.
Yeah.
But like LD had mentioned, they needed to get perfect black holes, whereas Fly only needed to get like 1 or 2 heroes in the chrono. The one opportunity that maybe it would have been nicer to have a slightly farmed Enigma was near that mid Radiant tier 2 fight where he was so close to a 5-man black hole.
That
he was like 20 move speed away from a 5-man black hole. Instead just caught 2, and then JT disengages, buyback on the gyrocopter. I was so close to being a game-winning fight for J.Storm, but
and then it turns into a game-winning fight for IG because
the buyback
JT goes in on like a sliver of health, still gets away alive as well, but manages to get his epicenter off. That was a crazy fight, and indeed, if that would have just, I don't know, if Enigma was like 2 seconds earlier, if he would have had a blink or anything like that, we would have been having a whole different conversation here, I think, because, yeah, they did okay in the lanes, but they never really got ahead, and they kind of needed to be ahead with the draft they had.
Yeah, and I think overall, you looked at IG's draft in comparison, they are very meta-oriented, and their heroes, they scale. They scale so hard once they get to the later stages. Like, even if, like you said, I feel like if J.Storm wanted to take the game, they needed like a 10k gold advantage going into these later plays, because you're playing versus Void, Gyrocopter, with Bloodlust on top, so...
I mean, we saw the result of that when they tried to kill off the Phases Void, and they threw out the tree volley. They had the black hole, and he was so close.
He was solo also. No one on his team
there was no one else.
It
was
all
time
walking into the enemy team. And I do think that Gauze is right that he activated the Satanic because the time walk animation may have just taken a little bit too long. And yet again, we're seeing the value of a lot of early Satanics on against teams that require staggered crowd control disable to make sure that you can't pull off a BKB. We see this against the Morphling Shaker combination, and that has pretty much just put a cork in that idea. And same thing here. You needed to consistently get people grouped up after a black hole, get your tree volley in, but activate Satanic. The status resistance is just so good at mitigating all of that.
Here's the stats again. I must say, all the conversation we've had, every match that IG has played in, especially after their group stage game, has always been about can Emo be stable, and I must say he has been super stable since that Invoker series. The one that they lost against EG, they're gonna have a rematch as well for that one. But ever since, they have actually been he's been playing very solid, and we have not seen the going too far Emo.
No, I mean, especially in this one, he didn't go too far at all. I mean, he died in the laning phase, but that was like the only deaths he had, right? Laning phase and then that one bottom left, and then he recovered completely.
I think this series specifically, it's because Fly stepped up immensely.
He did.
Very rarely have I been seeing Fly be the game winner for them. More often than not, it's JT and Emo, which JT, again, had a fantastic series, as always. But this is the first time that Fly has really like shown up on the radar for me as being a real big playmaker for IG. Which is good, because I need someone to take that away from Emo. I can't, like, if you're relying on Emo every single time, teams are going to abuse him, much as how they did this game. He died twice in the laning phase, then one of them was like a solo kill with the Tiny, and then I think one of them was a rotation. But Fly was ready to turn it around.
I believe he also won the MVP of the series, so well deserved for him. Even though, there was one Chronosphere that kind of missed a couple people, but hey.
They have Blink Daggers, not your fault.
And they did also lose the fight after that, but he tried. I thought it was a good series. I thought a rather good game because the series on itself, the first game, I kind of feel like we were cheated out of this series a little bit because the first game, J.Storm didn't really play.
I really thought that they would. Man, I'm still going back to that, and I'm like, I look at the Sand King Lina, and that's how you play an aggressive lane. You know, you build
Yeah.
these skills. The Kunkka Lina from J.Storm just didn't do it. So.
And they were against a Drow also. Like,
Yeah.
Night Stalker is a pretty tanky hero. Maybe you can't bully him, but Drow Ranger, I don't know. I think history will look back at this J.Storm tournament performance and be like, oh, IG's their demons. Lost to them 2-0 in groups, lost to them 2-0 here. But I was expecting more after seeing J.Storm versus TNC.
Well, let's hear from IG right now.
觉得是可能队伍之间慢慢是互相变得越来越舒适，还是你觉得你们整体的思路和应对上做的比对手要好一些 ？So first question I want to ask is that during the process of the major, IG is playing better and better. Does Kaka think it's because players are getting comfortable with each other, or does he think they just did a better job than the opponent strategy-wise?
我觉得我们最近就是发挥和配合都比较好吧，然后我们教练也选的阵容就是比较针对对面，就感觉选出来就基本上赢了一半那种感觉。
I think our players are playing very well right now, and we have a lot of teamwork. Also, I think our coach picked a very comfortable lineup for us, which also counters their pick a lot. So that's why I think we are getting better. 第二个问题的话，就是想问一下，现在已经来到前4了吗？那有没有完成这次对于 Major 的一个目标？然后打到这个地步的话 ，IG 接下来的一个展望是什么 ？So the second question gonna be, you have become top 4 this time, and does it reach the goal before the Major? And what's next for IG?
我们来之前的目标是前6啊，然后现在的话应该是前2吧。如果看之后看发挥吧。
Before we get here, our goal is to get top 6, but right now we're aiming for top 2. Let's just play and see. 那最后一个问题就是这一场的话是打赢了小组赛碰到了 J.Storm， 下一场的话可能会碰到一个更强的对手，就是 EG。然后你们之前也是在这个淘汰赛里面输给他们一场，然后掉了下来。再次面对这样一个强大的对手，这次 IG 会做一些不一样的准备吗 ？So last question gonna be facing against EG. IG lost to them in the winner bracket first round, and gonna meet them again. So this time, what is IG gonna do to beat the opponent?
我们目前没准备啊，然后待会回去可能会讨论一些战术之类的。
To be honest, we haven't prepared a match yet. We will go back and see what's going on. 好，那也是感谢卡卡接受我们的采访。不过最后的话，之后会有一个抽奖环节。
Very
Very
honest
honest, yeah.
interview.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. I mean, they aimed for top 6. I like that he's very open about that. Not it's
Yep.
like, oh, we're gonna win. No, it seems like very realistic. Like, okay, we won the minor, going into the major. What do we want? Top 6, good goals for themselves. Made it top 4, already better. But yeah, they take it one step at a time. They haven't thought ahead. They haven't prepared yet for Evil Geniuses. They will have the chance during the next series. I must say though, this is a different IG from what we did see in that upper bracket. I feel like they look way better. Also, one big change that we have seen in IG is that the first time we saw them on camera on stage, or maybe it was even during the group stage, we saw Super standing behind the team. And then a game after that, he was sitting down actually in the chair doing the drafting.
And Kaka even said it, right?
Yes.
He even said our coach picked the heroes
that's
that we
true.
seemed more comfortable with and that we like to play more.
Yeah.
And it led to us just playing and having an easier time in the game. So
Yeah.
they
Credit
definitely
to
have an
Super.
influence. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good road for IG. Tough opponent in EG. I like that they've adjusted their goals to being top 2. I wonder if they're expecting to face Vici or TNC, but I think I know the answer to that one already. Little bit of bias at play there as well. of course.
Probably. I don't.
Neither, right? Because there's one step at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
yes.
It's not even in their mind
Not
at
in
this
their
time.
minds.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Let's close the chapter on J.Storm. They, if you look at it objectively, you look at the results. It is a DPC major. They came top 6.
Yep.
And
That's not bad.
And they grew. I feel like they grew quite a bit in this one. I think that their TNC performance was probably their best by far so far here.
Yep.
And I know I harped on a lot on them in the first game, but that's just because of what I saw in the TNC things. I'm not like I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed because I feel like they didn't play to their actual potential. So.
Yeah. So if you look at it from that perspective, and not objective but subjective, you're thinking they could have gone further.
Yeah, I think so actually. This was they were looking pretty good.
Would
for
you
a lot
have
of
thought
games.
that before the tournament started, though?
No.
So they exceeded expectations.
Definitely exceeded expectations.
For me, 9 specifically exceeded expectations. I think there were a lot of question marks over a new mid laner, something like that, especially jumping regions from Europe to NA, and he has assimilated very well, and I had really no qualms over his mid lane performance. I think he can go toe-to-toe with the best of them, and I hope to see this roster stick together.
Yeah. I hope so too. I would imagine, I think we talked about it, right? We want the rosters, regardless of what happens, to stay together purely because it is a patch time.
Yeah.
So you got to try to figure out first if you can do something with the patch, with the team you have right now.
Unless you lose the qualifiers after the patch, and
then
you can
everyone
swap
gets cut. Pizza for everyone.
I mean, you know, one step at a time, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I only have to wait a little bit longer for the patch, Tuesday.
Maybe.
Soon.
Maybe.
Aiming for Tuesday.
Aiming for Tuesday. Hey, who knows? Maybe someone is gonna trip and fall and hit the button right as the major ends.
Dude,
that's my hope.
right before grand finals.
Yeah.
How about that? Brand new patch.
Techies.
That would be hilarious, actually. No, enough lower bracket. I think we've had, you know, our share of eliminations over the last 2 days. It's time for a little bit of an upbeat match, or rather, no elimination winners bracket match.
Match.
Better
High
yet,
quality
winners
Dota.
bracket finals is coming your way after break. Will be TNC versus Vici Gaming. You want to stick around for this one.